Here's something that happened to me quite a few years ago. We woke up one morning and the carpet was soaked. You can see here that I'm standing on the towel. There's the footprint of the water absorbing into the towel. Now, with a little bit of math, I figured out what the problem was. The slab on the outside was poured higher than the concrete floor or the slab on the inside. This is not a good thing. Make sure that you pour all slabs lower, not higher. Otherwise, you're going to end up with the same problem. Now, something I'd like to point out here is you can actually see right here where, I kind of call these wick lines. This is where the moisture can actually wick up from the concrete or from the ground moisture and pull right into the stucco. Now you're probably thinking, how could the water get in there? The concrete's poured nice and tight up against here. It could be coming from this crack, and this is actually what I thought it was. The water pools up and soaks into a crack like this, which has plenty of room underneath. You're not looking at it right here. And again, let's just say that this crack right here is the problem. You could fill it with caulking. Yeah, that would work. Just make sure that you check it every once in a while to make sure that the caulking doesn't crack. But all you need is a small spot. And this is the problem with a water leak. Most construction people can relate to it. All you need is a small gap on the other side here, or maybe a crack over here, and this water just goes into the house. It'd be just like a faucet, running a faucet for a couple of hours. So my job in this video is not going to be to provide you what the problem is on this video or for this particular house, even though I think this was the problem, but to tell you to not pour the patio slabs a little higher. And again, you can see right here there's a discoloration in the concrete. It tells me that somebody put something over this crack, these cracks right here. This might have been an area that was filled with concrete. Maybe they were thinking they could solve the problem. Let's go back. Here's the crack. Who knows what they did here, but we can see that there are two different colors. The reasoning behind this might have been to fix this problem, which would of course have been nice if they would have filled this gap here. So anyway, these are it for the pictures. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 3D illustration that I drew. Here's a nice single-story house. Let's go ahead and zoom in. Everything's looking good. We got the soil here. We can see the concrete foundation and the stucco. If any water gets behind the stucco, it will be able to go through the weep screed and out the bottom of the stucco. And this, of course, won't be the case if we pour the patio above it. So here's the patio slab. This is looking good. I believe most building codes require 2 inches between the top of the building foundation and the top of the concrete patio, but I like to see at least 2 inches or at least an inch, let's say, from the bottom of the stucco or siding to the top of the concrete. But again, you need to verify those with your local building department. So there's a nice looking patio slab, and any water that gets onto the patio slab, even if it's sloping back towards the building or perfectly flat, probably isn't going to create a problem for the home here. Now, something else I'd like to point out is you can always install a gutter. This is basically what the roof on the other house looked like, almost exactly. It was just a straight gable. And the gutter would definitely take some of the water, or put it into another direction. Obviously, you wouldn't want to have a downspout draining to right here, where the problem could be, just be adding more water to the gap as shown in the previous pictures. But you would need to make sure that it was draining away from the building in order to reduce the amount of problems you could be facing. Here's the concrete slab poured above, and of course I raised the soil level here. Let's go ahead and go back to the other picture. You can see the soil level is a little lower, probably have about 8 inches here. Here we have about 2 inches, and this is where the problem usually comes. You know, the soil wasn't graded 6 inches, which is what I think most building departments require from the top of the concrete foundation to the top of the soil that runs around the perimeter of the home. But I've seen it plenty of times where it's right up to the top or a ½ inch, something like that. Then they go to pour a patio and they don't want to dig down, or if they dig down, it's not going to be deep enough. I shouldn't say that. Let's just say that you have this patio, you have a situation like this, and you want to keep it below the stucco, at least 2 inches. You could see here, if I was to pour a concrete slab around here and it was level with the soil, then I would need to put some type of a drainage system around the perimeter of the patio. Otherwise, the water isn't going to drain off of the slab. Where's it going to go? So that could be a problem, especially if you're trying to get some slope in a patio. And let's just say that you build a 20-foot patio and you want to put a 1/4 inch per foot slope in it. Then what would that be, 5 inches? So if you came out here, if you started here, you would actually your patio would go into the soil probably about 3 inches into here. And then if you started at level here, then it would come up 5 inches, and now you would have the same problem that you have here. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, feel free to leave a question in the comment area, and I'll try and make a little more sense out of that. So this is the problem. The water has no place to go. Any water that absorbs into the stucco is going to eventually ruin the building paper, absorb into the wood framing, and create problems there. So the water basically will travel through any gaps or cracks, as I said. And let's just say that you had about a 1/4 inch space between the stucco in certain spots and a 1/4 inch space at the bottom. Then you've got a nice big gap for water to accumulate. And the water, let's go ahead and remove the walls. The water is basically going to come down on the inside or the backside of the patio and then leak like a son of a gun into the patio slab. So I hope that makes sense. And if you liked the video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. And it is off to the next video.